This is chapter 5 in Anatomy and Physiology, video number 9. In this video, we're going to look at skin pigmentation. So there are a few pigments that are present in skin that give us a range of different ethnicities. So these pigments involved include our main one, melanin, that we talked about, which is made by melanocytes, but we also have keratin and hemoglobin. So keratin is an orangish yellow pigment found a lot or in high concentrations in carrots. And somebody that has pale skin, if they eat a lot of carrots, and I mean a lot of carrots, they can develop an orangish color because this gets built up in our skin. Hemoglobin gives our skin a pinkish color. But if we have a lot of melanin, which is typically a brown or dark brown black color, excuse me, that can mask the colors of keratin and hemoglobin. So somebody that is lacking pigment, melanin in their body, can appear to have a pinkish hue to their skin. So usually with albinism, which is a genetic disorder in which there is no melanin made, their skin appears very, very white or even pinkish in color. Now, as for melanin, which we know are produced by melanocytes in the epidermis, and this pigment is transferred to the keratinocytes. And we know that this melanin's main job is to protect against UV radiation. So the melanin actually will shield the nucleus of the keratinocyte, and it helps protect it. So as ultraviolet radiation is coming from the sun, it's blocked by this melanin. So when we talk about tanning here in a second, we'll see how this process works. But there are two different types of melanin that give us different colors. So we have eumelanin, which is a brownish black color. And we have phenomelanin, which is a red color. So this gives us all of our different skin tones that we can have, from somebody that has albinism to somebody that might live in South America or India, Africa, Australia. We have a lot of varieties of pigmentation to the skin. And a lot of that deals with our genetics. So our background, where we come from, and it's passed on through the process of mitosis and meiosis. So usually because the ultraviolet radiation is in higher concentrations in areas closer to the equator because it's closer to the sun, people that are living in those areas or without transport usually have more pigmentation in their skin. Nowadays, we travel all over the place, so this isn't really as prevalent as it was when people did not travel as much. So it's more of an evolutionary advantage to have darker skin where there's more sunlight. And really, that's all the different races or ethnicities are, is a response to sunlight with skin pigmentation. Once that epidermal layer is gone, every single person has the same structures underneath. So if we are looking at tanning, tanning is a response to UV radiation. All people can tan. It's just seen more often in people that have paler skin, that they will become a little bit darker. So what happens here is if we go and lay on the beach and we're exposed to more UV radiation, or we go to a tanning bed, we increase the amount of UV radiation. What that does is it stimulates keratinocytes to secrete chemicals that stimulate melanocytes to increase melanin production. Now, it takes about 10 days to reach the peak of melanin production. But if you do not expose yourself to more UV radiation, the lysosomes in your body start breaking down that melanin because you no longer need as much, so the tan will fade over time. Also, there's different forms of UV radiation that can cause your skin to actually burn. So if you don't have a lot of melanin, you can actually burn your skin. And that usually happens before you start tanning because it takes about 10 days for the tanning to occur. Now, there are some artificial tanning chemicals that you can apply to your body that darken your skin. That too, because you're just dyeing the outside layer, the epidermis, and it is removed continuously, so that is a temporary fix. So tanning is not permanent. The other two things here with skin pigmentation are freckles and moles. And they're basically the same thing, it's just that they're different sizes. So freckles are an irregular accumulation of melanocytes. Whereas moles are large masses of melanocytes. So they're just bigger freckles, basically. And we have to really, really watch if we have large moles on our body. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about skin cancer.